Hello everyone, Rabbi Abe here. In this video we're going to talk about a topic which might be a little bit controversial for some, but we're going to get into what the 70 nations are according to the Kabbalah, and as well as the Bible, but you know, we need the Kabbalah to decodify what the Bible is talking about so that we can understand it in some sort of practical level. Before we get into it, please, if you are already a supporter of our channel, thank you very much. We appreciate it so much. That enables us to continue to put out lots and lots of free content on YouTube, as well as our other platforms. So, and if you're not a supporter of the channel, please feel free to do so at rabbieabe.com or on YouTube. Thank you very much. This is a very important discussion because many people don't know kind of where they are, where they belong spiritually. And this is a spiritual discussion, make no mistake about it. We are different. The first thing that we need to get rid of in our consciousness is this idea of equality. We are not equal. Nobody is. Identical twins are not equal. We are different. We are all different. We are all different vibrations. Every soul has its vibration. This has nothing to do with race. This has nothing to, you know, it has to do with our fingerprints. Each one of us have a different fingerprint. That makes our DNA different. It's physical as well as spiritual DNA. And the major difference between all of us, and as I say, even identical twins, is one thing: desire. Desire. And desire is everything in the seed level. So let's understand what this really means, how it may relate to you personally, very personally. And is there a specific spiritual teaching that's good for you or better for you? Are you happy where you are? You may be. And that would be an indication that the spiritual teaching that you have or that you use is good for you. But maybe you don't feel that way. And why not? Why is it unfulfilling? I mean, I have endless amount of people telling me, you know, I was brought up as this, I was brought up as that, and it never made sense to me. And I don't understand why. What is religion about? What is, what is it all about? What is it for? And so if you saw my last video, that losing my religion, that was the last video we posted, we got into the aspect of religion a little bit, and the idea of organized religion being an illusion. Well, then, if it's an illusion, whatever we mean by that, then what is it actually, and what is it for? So, I want to go back to, you know, the Bible in different sections, primarily in Genesis chapter 10, speaks about the descendants of Noah. And again, there are 70 descendants of Noah. And this would be the root of 70 nations, as the Bible calls it, from Noah's 3 sons, which was Shem, Ham, and Japhet in Hebrew. Now, each one with different things. We won't get into the specific nations or who, you know, what nations they emanate from. Maybe there may be different opinions, but Shem was considered to be the seed level or the root level of the Semitic nations. And everyone else, whatever the Semitic nations are, falls into the category, different categories of the other 2 sons of Noah. Now, there is more on that also in Deuteronomy in chapter 32, if you care to do your own research. But we don't want to go too much into detail about that specifically, but suffice to say that 70 nations. Now, what does that mean even? What is 70 nations? 70 nations have nothing to do with geography, okay? It's not speaking about those types of nations, but we do need Kabbalistic teachings to explain to us what are these 70 nations really about. They are energetic nations and vibrations of the soul. So according to Kabbalistic teachings, these 70 nations really relate to different aspects or different, let's call it, vibrations of souls of what are called Israel. Now, that would make up the majority of the population on the planet. But the majority of the population on the planet are not Jews, right? Are Jews part of Israel? Or is Israel part of Jews? What are Jews? I mean, this is a funny kind of question, but where do Jews emanate? So let's understand it a little bit deeper, because we know these 12 tribes represent a lot of things. One of them are the signs of the zodiac and the constellations. 12 tribes of Israel represent the seed level of the 12 sons that Jacob birthed. Of course, he didn't personally birth them. He was the father of the children of Israel, as they are called in Hebrew, Bnei Yisrael. Bnei Yisrael, the children of Israel. Why was his name Israel? Wasn't his name Jacob? Why are they called the children of Israel? Okay, we'll get back to that. So, very important reason. I've mentioned it in other places. But Jacob had more than one mother of his children, shall we say, because both Leah and Rachel, Rachel, of course, initially could not give birth, and eventually she did give birth to Joseph and Benjamin. But she also gave her handmaidens to Jacob, and he bore sons from them, and as well as Leah also gave Jacob her handmaidens also to bear children from her, through her, okay? And somehow they were perfectly all right with that. But these make up the 12 sons and one daughter. Let's not forget her. Dinah was her name. She had another purpose in the Bible story. But, and the story of Dinah is also quite an interesting one. She was to marry Jacob's twin brother Esau. Many people forget that Esau was Jacob's twin. And Leah and Rachel were also twins, except Leah was a bit older. And Esau was also older, but Jacob stole, quote, in quotation marks, Jacob stole the birthright from his brother Esau. What is that about? Okay, again, another tangent which we could go down the rabbit hole over there. But the Zohar makes it very clear that this had to happen. It was a divine intervention which Jacob's mother, precipitated, shall we say. And because according to what it says in the Zohar, that had Esau received the blessing from his father Isaac, evil would have ruled the world forever. Evil would have ruled the world forever. And to prevent that from happening, there was a permissible switch. Okay, well, we won't go there right now. In any event, who are the Jews? Where did these Jews come from? And why was Jacob's name changed to Israel? Remember, if you know your Bible stories, Jacob, fell asleep one night and he did battle with the angel of Esau, his brother, who wanted to kill him. So Jacob's brother wanted to kill him. Jacob, of course, we understand through the Kabbalah, he fought the battle emotionally, internally, on an energetic level, on a spiritual level. And that is when this angel came to him, who was his brother's ministering angel, and fought with him till the dawn. And as the dawn was coming, that angel, who was representing the angel of death, said to Jacob, "Let me go. The dawn is coming," as though that evil angel could not stand the light that was coming in the dawn. We understand through the Kabbalah that the dawn is a very, very powerful and positive time as the sun begins to make its appearance, in that part of the world that you happen to be in. It's a very positive time. And so he said, no. Jacob said, no, I won't let you go until you bless me. Until you bless me. Why would Jacob want a blessing from the negative angel? In fact, we know there's no greater blessing than even from a negative angel. When your enemies bless you, you know you're doing something right, okay? When even the enemies bless you, there's something good happening. In any event, so the angel said, all right, what's your name? Didn't he know his name? He's fighting with him. He's an angel. Doesn't he know his name? But it's not about that. It's about creating a transformation. And this is what happened over here in this story. Remember, the Bible is a code. There was a transformation about to happen from going from nature to going beyond nature into the realm without boundaries or limitations, the realm of the miraculous. And so when Jacob said, well, my name is Jacob, what did the angel reply? No, your name is now Israel, because you have fought the divine and you have conquered. Now, what was the divine that Jacob fought and that got his name changed to Israel? He fought the spiritual battle first. He overcame his fears. He knew that he was being given this as an opportunity. He was being given this negativity, this challenge to overcome, to go to a higher level of consciousness, to receive something more that the Creator wanted to give him, which is something that's usually the trap that we fall into. When we are challenged, generally we fall down into the challenge and we let the challenge overcome us rather than we overcoming the challenge, which is what was supposed to happen. Because when we do that, we create a higher level of consciousness. And guess what? The name of the higher level of consciousness is called Israel. That's what it's called. And that is why Jacob, in the Bible story, his name doesn't stay Israel. He goes back and forth. Sometimes he's called Jacob, sometimes he's called Israel, to give us an indication of opportunities that we have to elevate our consciousness to a higher dimension above nature, above the zodiac, above the norm. We want to be able to go outside of that. How do we do that? Okay, so if we understand the principle of Israel as not being a place, because this story happened long before there was a place called Israel, very long before that, and the tribes of Israel, which is why they are called the tribes of Israel, which we'll also get to in a minute. Why are they called not the 12 tribes of Jacob, because Jacob was their father after all, and why are they not called the sons, the children of Jacob, but rather they're called the children of Israel, Bnei Yisrael in Hebrew. And again, because the simple reality here is represented by those individuals of Israel, which means what? It means those descendants that came directly from Shem. In terms of vibration of soul, we understand these 70 nations as the vessel of humanity. So if you imagine humanity as a big cup or a big glass, right? A glass. And if you divide it into 7 portions, and each portion has 10, that represents the tree of life. 10 levels, 10 sephirot we call them. 10 times 7, because 7 represents the energy of the physical world. 10 times 7, 70. So each segment, if we divide that glass into 70 segments, each segment would represent a vibration of people. Okay? A vibration of the nations of the world. All of them. All the nations of the world. All the descendants of Noah will fit on that scale, let's say, of 70 vibrations. What do these vibrations represent? The final one being Israel. Okay, the final, meaning the bottom of the glass, so to speak. So the bottom of that spiritual vessel of humanity would be represented by this Israel, nation of Israel. But within that framework, there's further subdivisions, as there are with all the others. And that's why we're not discussing geographical nations over here. We're discussing vibrations of humanity. What is the difference between people? Whether it's identical twins, whether it's, different nations, whatever they are. And let's just use the greatest contrast, okay? Jews. What are Jews known for? I mean, I know there are going to be some comments out there, but Jews are known for generally, not always in a positive way. Let's get that out of the way ahead of time, okay? And I won't necessarily disagree with you, because there's also something called mixed multitude mixed in to the Jews. But let's understand first what Jews are. So of the 12 tribes of Israel, again, Israel will represent the bottom of that vessel, the bottom of the vessel. And of the bottom of the vessel, we said there are further subdivisions. And the final subdivision is the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah. And I want to read to you from, it says tribal representation. Let's see here. I just want to read to you from some of the text here about how we get to Judah. Because Judah is only one of the tribes of Israel, right? And Judah was one of the 12 sons of Israel, also called Israel. And, of course, the head, he was the chieftain of the tribe of Judah. And he was one of the 12 tribes of Israel. We understand that. But they're saying over here that after the Babylonian exile, now approximately 586 BC, okay, approximately, after the Babylonian exile, the people who returned to build Jerusalem and the temple because it was destroyed, were primarily from the kingdom of Judah, which means the descendants of the tribe of Judah. And over time, they came to be known as what? Jews. In Hebrew, the tribe of Judah in Hebrew is Yehudah. The plural of Yehudah is Yehudim. What is Yehudim? Yehudim in Hebrew is the way you say Jews, Jewish people. Now, even Jews is a very broad term, because Jews, according to the book of the Zohar, seems to also indicate or represent those who Moses took along on the way in the Exodus of Egypt and converted, or whatever that means, converted to be Jews or to be part of Israel. Because there are Kabbalists who say those individuals are not considered Jews, but rather some part of Israel, but not Israel proper, because they did not, even those people who Moses converted, did not receive all the precepts that the regular Jews did. There were a total of 613 precepts, and many Jews, even religious Jews, do not know this, but the mixed multitude Jews were given only 612. They were not given the precept of what we call pidyon haben, the redemption of the firstborn. For other reasons, Kabbalistic reasons, I won't go into it. But nevertheless, they were considered Jews. God told Moses, and this is clear conversation in the Bible, don't take them. There be trouble. And the Zohar says that Moses had this discussion with God and said, no, it's going to be all right because, they will see your wonders and they'll see the miracles and they will want only to, worship you. They'll want only you. All right, well, didn't exactly happen that way, unfortunately, but Moses meant well. We don't want to say Moses made a mistake. We're not here to judge Moses, right? We can't do that. Moses was, perfect in the Creator's eyes. However, it's by reason, it's not them. It's also part of us, okay? It's never really about us and them. Until we cleanse certain negativities and do the correction within our own life, very often, we also have those sparks of perhaps negativity that we also need to cleanse. And that's why environmentally, it's still an issue, right? I mean, we can't have anything in our environment that doesn't at some level exist within us. Of course, including the negativity, all right? No one here is innocent. The newborn baby is not innocent, unfortunately, though we might like to think so. We come here ready with the package. We come here with a karma. We come here with a tikkun, a correction that we came to this world for. Nobody's clean, otherwise we don't need to be here. So, why the tribe of Judah? Because they were the warrior. They were considered, it's the lion. It's represented by the lion, the crouching lion, if you've ever seen that. It's represented, they were the fighters, strength, leadership, and the Messiah coming from the house of David. David, the root is the tribe of Judah. Oh, so then we understand, some other level. But what does it mean spiritually? So what does it mean, this tribe of Judah, relative to the other tribes? I mean, people say there's 10 lost tribes, and Judah and Benjamin, are known. Well, we don't know necessarily who's from who. We do not. So who are these other 10 tribes of Israel? Where are they? Where are these people? And who are they? Are they considered Jewish? Well, according to the writings, those who consider themselves or have some affinity with Judaism, not everybody does, and not everybody needs to, those people may indeed be part of that clan, should we say, a part of that energy. Certainly, I have, thank God, many students and many people who have some great affinity, and they're not, while they are not technically Jewish, they have great affinity for this wisdom, for the Bible. I mean, I have to tell you honestly, some people who were technically non-Jewish, who are my students, have more knowledge of Torah, the prophets, the Tanakh as we call it, the writings, than most Jews that I know. Even though there are some very learned people that I know, but for the most part, I'm shocked at how much Torah they know and study, and it just amazes me. It never ceases to amaze me. Okay, so where are we going with this? So what is this Jews business? Jews, what we need to realize is that vessel of humanity is really a scale of desire. Again, let me repeat that. It is a scale of desire. Now, desire, by and within itself, is neither good or bad. It is. It is. Meaning, towards the top of the scale would be, let's say, the least amount of desire, and the bottom, the most amount of desire. Again, does that mean good? Well, depends how you use it, doesn't it? Is desire a good thing or a bad thing? Many people, who initially start out and become interested in Kabbalah, maybe studied other teachings, initially Buddhism maybe, and Buddhism, seems contrary to the Kabbalah in certain ways, with this concept of desire, for many people studying Buddhism, desire bad. You don't want too much desire. You want to get rid of some of your desire and become more passive, perhaps. Or, there are other different takes on it. And again, if that works for a person, and again, I said, why are there different teachings? There are different teachings in different religions. Why? Because on that scale of desire, that means we all need different things. There's no one right way. There's no better way. All roads, if they lead to love and harmony and unity among people, it's a good teaching. If you follow the basic rule, do unto others as you would have them do to you, the golden rule, it's a good teaching. Whatever tools you use to get there, however you understand it, that's good. Again, as long as you don't interfere with other people, you don't interfere with their energy, you don't, judge them for what they are or who they want to be. Everyone to his own. And it includes, as I say, love, unity, and sharing. It's a good teaching. I don't care what it is. So there's no one better teaching than another, but there are teachings that fit the vibration, which is what? The desire of the soul, of the spirit of that individual according to where he was born. So the initial understanding of what is the tribe of Judah, and we'll not necessarily use the word Jews, because Jews really, technically, literally represent the tribe of Judah proper, or anyone else from the tribe of Israel who identifies with that, with the tribe of Judah, and feels, I'm Jewish. But it's not just about feeling that way, because technically, at the time of the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai, the people who desired the most, it says that the Torah, the Old Testament, was offered to all 70 nations, and everyone refused, except that segment of the population who became known as Jews. Why? I mean, there's an old joke about that. What's the joke? The joke, of course, is, Jews have big desire, which can make them selfish and so on. It's possible, yes. And so when the God offered the Torah to the Jews, they said, okay, what's in there? Well, they say, 2 tablets. Oh, two for one? I'll take, give me 2. All right, their joke. But the point is that there is some truth to this, because it says all the different nations were offered the Torah in exchange from the way they get energy. Now, we understand everything is about energy. In Kabbalah, we understand that, everything is about energy. We don't do anything without wanting a desire, conscious or unconscious, subconscious desire to receive something from it. If it's comfort, if it's pleasure, if it's easy, if it's freedom from a responsibility, we procrastinate because we get energy from it. What energy do we? It's more comfortable to do nothing than to make a decision right now. You understand? We always get energy from whatever it is that we do. There's nothing that we do that doesn't give us energy. That's why we do whatever we do. Good or bad. And thief steals, because he gets energy from that. He also maybe gets something physical, God forbid, a murderer, whatever. But they're receiving something from it. There are horrible things that people do, possible in this world, But they get energy from it, otherwise, why would they do it? They're receiving something from it. And so the Creator of the angels went to all the nations of the world to make the offer and said, here, we have the Torah. You want it? Well, what's in there? Don't steal. You know what? But we like stealing. One nation said that. We do enjoy stealing. And we're talking about the ministering angels of the nations. We get our energy through stealing, criminality. You keep it. Keep the Bible. Keep the Torah. We'll go to another nation and say, here's the Torah. Do you want it? What's in there? No adultery. Listen, we like it. We get energy that way, right? It's a high, the forbidden fruit is sweeter. And so we get our energy that way. You can keep it. We don't want it. Eventually, when it came to the tribe of Judah, or this segment of the population, they said, yeah, we want it, because we want more. Think about it for a second. Even if they were creating certain negativity, let's say we have a bad habit that we know we need to give up, but we like it, right? We like chocolate cake, but we know it's not healthy for us. Maybe it's not healthy. We have metabolic issues. But we really love that chocolate mousse cake. Does it take more desire to give it up or to continue just eating it when it's not good for you? Think about that. Very obviously, it should be obvious, it takes way more desire to let go of that because for some higher purpose like health or whatever it is. So it takes much more desire. Well, they had that desire. The bottom of the vessel has that desire. And that is theoretically what we call the Jew. He has a big desire. Now, is that a good thing? Maybe, maybe not. Because, and I have to be careful with this, right? It can make someone a very high achiever. It can, make a person successful. It can make a person very selfish, self-centered, full of themselves, full of ego. And I won't go too deep into the details, but, biblically, the Bible says these people who have the big desire must operate in a certain way. They must have resistance. They must have restriction. It's called Am Segula, which is mentioned 3 times in the Torah, that God wants us to be a nation of Segula, which, unfortunately, there's no great interpretation for, right? If you look at it in English, chosen people. We chosen. Chosen for what exactly? What do you mean chosen? I mean, maybe, but it doesn't mean that in Hebrew. In fact, there's no great translation to that word in Hebrew that you can kind of put your finger on and says it means this. It can mean several different things. But according to the Kabbalah, segula is from the word segol, which means 3 dots or purple. And we understand through the Kabbalah, 3 dots represents what we call the right, the left, and the central column of the tree of life. Means you must, what was the Creator telling us? If you don't want to create chaos and destruction in the world, you people with a big desire, then you need to operate with resistance. Once we understand that through the Kabbalah, it doesn't mean being good people. Or lagoyim, a light for the nations. You're supposed to teach. You're supposed to bring consciousness. You're supposed to bring awareness to the nations of the world. A light to the nations and a restriction people. People who restrict that great desire, so it shouldn't be for yourself. That desire must be transformed into one of sharing. And if you don't do that, you will have chaos. You will have problems. And so, How do we remove the problems? Well, I mean, the simple answer is learning really how to share. Now, that doesn't only mean those who are formerly called Jews. Today, it's a mess. Some people are called Jews. Perhaps they're not. And some people are not called Jews, but perhaps Israelites, and maybe they are Jews, because an Israelite has the desire. I want to go above myself. I have a big desire. Those are usually the people who desire to study Kabbalah. In my personal experience, those are the Israelites. If you have a real desire to study this wisdom, you are more than likely an Israelite. I can't tell you that you're Jewish. If your mother didn't tell you you were Jewish, you weren't born of the Jewish mother, then technically you wouldn't be considered. Since Mount Sinai, when that nation took a vow and said, yes, we will do this, we accept it. So those people called Jews technically took a vow and said, yeah, we're going to do this. But over the generations, I mean, that was, about 35 centuries ago, a long time. If generation after generation that you did not know if you were born of a Jewish mother or not, if 3 generations went by and nobody told you that you're Jewish because your mother is Jewish, you're no longer considered Jewish. That doesn't mean your soul isn't. But there's a process called conversion which helps the body get back in line with the soul. So without going into too much detail about that, but that is called conversion. And it's really a test of desire as well. That's why it's not about, a 30-day version of, I want to be Jewish and, okay, the Acme version of conversion. No, there's a very specific way, there's learning and so on. Because if you lost it somehow, you have to work to earn it back, if that's what you want to do. Do you have to do that? No. No one says you have to. In fact, it's discouraged technically in Judaism, because we're not proselytizing people. That is not the custom in Judaism. It's not. You can activate your spirituality even by using the majority of the tools that the Bible tells, that Jews use. You can elevate the same if you understand it. So what is the Jew in the end of the day? Is the Malchut. We call it the Malchut of the spiritual vessel of humanity. It can be the best. He can bring light to the world. Or he can bring chaos and confusion. He can do that. If he doesn't use his desire in a sharing way, if he only cares about himself, like anyone else, any one of us who just only care about ourselves will bring chaos to ourselves, to our family, to whatever degree. But if he is truly the Jew, he has a bigger desire. He calls down. He's drawing down a lot of energy. So, energy is just that. It's wattage. It's not like, it's not good or bad. It's a double-edged sword. So you can help people. You can hurt people. It can be good and bad. If you don't have that level of desire, that's no problem. It's like saying, well, gee, guess what? You know what? You need 2 slices of pizza to feel satisfied. I only need 1. Am I better than you? Are you better than me because you need 2 slices? You have a bigger capacity? No. Everyone can be happy when they're satisfied with whatever they need. That's the thing we got to get through our head. We're not supposed to be equal. We're supposed to be fulfilled. Everyone. And when we're fulfilled, we don't go after each other. We don't fight. We don't need to criticize. We don't need to judge, because we're happy. A small glass which is full and a big glass which is full, are they different? No, they're both fulfilled with exactly what they need. That's why different spiritual teachings. It's to satisfy the need of that vessel. That's why you can never say, oh, this teaching is for you, and this is one, and if you're not this, you're not. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous discussion. Whatever works for you, whatever resonates for you, whatever helps you to feel fulfilled, that's the best teaching for you. And that's what we need to understand. In that, there is an absolute equality. So we don't need to be equal to be happy. Being equal doesn't equate with better or worse. It's not about that. That's a ridiculous discussion. We are all equal, and then we are all different. That's what we really need to understand. And may we all merit to have peace between us and harmony and love wherever we are. On the scale of desire makes no difference as long as we are all happy and completely fulfilled. Many blessings, guys. Peace and all the best. See you in the next one.